I was going to call the Leominster Planning Board meeting to order for May 15th, 2023, 6:30. We have a scheduled public hearing, open public meeting. Continue open public meeting for site plan application for 10 Jungle Road, map 300, parcel 13A, bank with a drive-through restaurant with drive-through and retail. Do I have a representative?
You have three, actually.
Oh, okay.
Just a good second. Just walked out, but yes, there are several of us here. They don't tell.
Hi, John.
How you doing, Sal? Good to see you.
It didn't come in time.
That was last week.
Is that gonna be due to the police department meeting and comments?
Just the way.
But we can get the rest of it.
He called the last minute and 5 o'clock, and so said he can't make something, came up, so, I don't know.
Any preference on where to set this up?
Just so that they can see it on the TV.
Can you clip it
Oh,
on
you know,
the,
yeah,
in there?
You probably could use this.
We can. Where would you like me to stand?
To the right a little bit, yeah. To the right.
By the way,
By the
my
way.
left hand, by the way.
John, just for reference, this was continued because they did not submit the striping plan in time. So they have the striping plan to present, but they also submitted additional information after the deadline for
Right.
this particular meeting, so I just wanted to let everyone know.
Yeah. We'll be able to look at it tonight, but we're still waiting for comments from the police department.
All right, good evening. Nice to see everyone. My name is Josh Klein. I'm with Stonefield Engineering and Design. I'm a licensed professional engineer as well as a partner at the firm out of our Salem office. So we're here tonight, I think, to talk about this application as a whole. I mean, obviously, I think one of the bigger topics is this roadway striping plan. We did, sounds like walking in as a police department, because we did receive an email comment about adding a ramp. So is that not from the
Yeah.
police department?
Yeah, but they still haven't commented back to us.
That was a DPW comment.
That was DPW.
Yeah, so we did, just to make sure the board, we came up with this plan with the police department, and we also did reach out to them, prior to this meeting. This plan was ahead of the last meeting. So I'm happy to go through it. I mean, a suggestion we'd like to make to try to keep the project going is, so far to date, the lieutenant's been great to work with. He's been very reasonable. An option for this board could be, that we can work with the lieutenant to maybe come to a solution to allow us to move forward. So instead of having us have to wait to each meeting, potentially not having the comments in time in each meeting, again, we worked on this solution with him. So again, I imagine if he wants to add an additional sign, move a line a couple feet, those type of changes aren't that big of a deal. Then obviously, if we can't come to an agreement with the lieutenant, then we'd have to come back here regardless, just to kind of talk it through with the board. So that might just be a suggestion kind of before I jump into it. But as you see up here on the board, this is kind of the plan as submitted. There are a couple kind of keys that we just wanted to kind of highlight. So I mean, I've been to the site, I'm sure everyone here has been to the site. I mean, the focus really is at this intersection. So, our site is kind of 2 lots away, kind of from this intersection. This is a high capacity intersection. So what we wanted to look to do, I think the big thing here is, things are a little bit dated. Striping's been faded. Striping isn't, kind of helping guide drivers. So the big focus here was to kind of help with alignments and increase sight distances. So what we look to do is we look to move the stop bar in, which creates a better sight line with the Walmart driveway, we look to extend that painted island, and we look to create kind of guidelines to help vehicles when they're maneuvering. So these are all ways to kind of help make this a safer intersection. The next thing we kind of looked at was kind of closer to where our proposed driveway is, and this is where you see the proposed crosswalk. Now, we don't anticipate this is going to be a highly used crosswalk. There's not a large amount of pedestrian volume happening in this area. But what it does is it does provide a nice kind of traffic calming measure. So it would have kind of the pedestrian yield signs, provides the painting. So it does provide kind of this added way to help calm traffic through this area. So those were kind of the two area focuses, the two concerns that were discussed with the police department. I mean, I'm happy to answer any more kind of questions. Just in terms of the comment about adding the ramp, I did speak to the client. You know, we have no issue providing an additional ramp as well.
Is there a sidewalk that matches up to that on the plan?
So we don't currently have a sidewalk on our plan. There is a asphalt sidewalk today along the right of way on Jungle Road.
Okay.
All right, I have some questions, John.
Yeah, no problem.
Man,
So when we last heard from your company, the issue was we had asked, and the police had asked for a traffic study. I didn't hear you mention anything about that, so I'm just curious to where that is. I'd also like you to show me, if anything, what's different on this plan for striping, or is this just putting down faded lines so they're clear? Because I'm not noticing, right now it's 3 lanes out, 2 lanes in. Right now, the 2 lanes go right into Walmart, nothing goes onto Jungle Road. I don't see a change on this drawing, so if you could point out what's different, I'd like to know that.
Yeah, no problem. So let's start with, we did submit a traffic assessment report. Were you able to get a copy of that?
I haven't heard anything about that, and I don't know what traffic assessment report means. Is that a traffic study?
We might, let me check the
Yeah,
file.
we did submit a traffic assessment report.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
is, it's a trip generation, it's a trip generation
Yeah,
analysis.
Yeah, we got
that's
that.
nonsense,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's based out of a book, that's not based on actual traffic at the site at any particular point in time. That's wholly insufficient, and I was very clear about that at the last meeting. And so were the police. That's why we stopped at the last meeting, so that wasn't enough, and we needed the traffic study.
I totally understand you asked, we did submit a traffic assessment report.
Before the last meeting is what you're saying, so you haven't done anything on what we've asked you since.
Correct. You know, I think the big thing in that report and the findings is, you know, we don't believe that the project generates enough traffic to
And
trigger
as
the
I
need
mentioned
for.
at the last meeting, I believe it does, because your peak hours are not the peak hours that are there. You're not just gonna get traffic coming across the street from Walmart. You're gonna be busy at 7 o'clock in the morning. They have nobody at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I just don't see that, it's not realistic what's in there. That's why we'd asked for the study.
Got it. So why don't we keep moving on? I mean, it's our opinion that kind of what was provided is going to be safe. The design of this project is going to be safe, and then the improvements we're here are making it better.
So, but just so I'm clear, you're saying that even though we stopped at the last meeting and said we wanted a traffic study, you're coming back and saying you're not gonna get one?
So I guess the question would be, is it the board's opinion that a traffic impact study is required for the
That's
project?
where we stopped at the last time we tabled the meeting.
that was the
That's
impression
what the
that I
police
get.
department had asked for, and
That
that's
we
why we
asked, there
tabled it.
was an ask for a traffic impact study done,
So
not an assessment, a traffic
An
impact
actual study,
study.
and that's where we stopped.
hmm.
So
Because
I'm just-
looking at that
Yeah.
traffic routes all the traffic to Walmart. And that was a Walmart design.
So getting on
Okay,
Jungle Road is probably.
And really, is that the way it should be? Should it be redesigned? Should that traffic, is there a better way? Okay, they're done, it's only your traffic. It's not your problem, it's our issue. But further on down the road, there's gonna be another development.
Well, you're bringing up some good points. So that we can, listen at ultimately if the board is requiring a traffic impact study. It's news to me. Never was not made aware to myself. That's a totally separate issue. But I think talking about the two things you're talking about, because I think they're important, is if we go out here and perform counts, if we go out here, we have looked at the signal. This is a high capacity signal. The signal is designed, this roadway, in terms of state roadways, does not seem the amount of volume that this signal is designed to take on. So, I ultimately think we're gonna be in the same position, 2 or 3 months from now than we are now.
My My problem is not the signal.
Correct.
My problem is that intersection right there.
Right.
Okay, and how that traffic today
Mhm.
directs, see, you're gonna have a lot, right now, the majority, 90% of the traffic comes in and makes that right turn into Walmart. Okay, so it's a natural flow of traffic. Now, when you come in here, that flow of traffic is now gonna be redirected down to here. So now they've gotta make that turn. So is there a better way of doing that? Is that good the way it is now? I don't know that.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
the improvements you're kind of seeing, those are the things we looked at. Because
Okay.
usually
Yes,
before we
sir.
do a traffic impact study, this is kind of what it would lead us to, is
We
kind of
also-
proposing roadway.
We also have an agreement with Walmart that major changes have to be made. They're still on the hook for them. I mean, you're saying striping, should there be an island there? Okay, so the people can cross and it gives it a positive turn, it's not just striping. Striping goes away when it gets worn out, okay?
Mhm.
And those are the types of things that I have, that is, we don't have an answer to at this point.
And in addition to what's going on at the top of the map, on the bottom left of the map here is Old Mill Road,
Yeah.
that I think my colleagues are concerned with. Because now at 7 o'clock in the morning, everyone in town has a new reason to come down Old Mill Road to hit Starbucks
Come in the back way.
before they get on the highway to go to work.
Yeah.
And that's
Yes,
a
have you ever
small,
driven up Old Mill
one-lane
Yeah.
road.
The one lane bridge?
Yeah.
And that's not cool. I mean, so we try to,
And 247 houses there on that street,
Yeah,
which
so-
are gonna be impacted by this, even though your plan doesn't think there's any impact at all.
Yeah, it's gonna be an impact, because what's gonna happen is people coming from, I'm gonna say the south side of town, or let's say Route 12 area, if you're more familiar with that area. Rather than coming all the way down Willard Street, coming around and coming back over to here,
Mhm.
their new destination is here. So it's gonna be half a mile shorter, and pretty close to them, to come down Old Mill to hit your place. So there's gonna be a fair amount of traffic making a right-hand turn
Mhm.
into your place. Okay, so it's not only that, but I wanna see, you got a crosswalk, I gotta have a sidewalk that's gonna connect to that,
Mhm.
into your property.
And we know that the other Starbucks in town has cars lined up around the building all day long.
Well, I think that's really what you're seeing on site, I mean, I
Yeah,
think like we'll separate, I think the queuing, this is a great layout from a queuing
No
perspective, I don't think
I
there's
don't
anything.
have a problem.
So we
Yeah,
should
that's-
separate queuing
The
from.
queuing
from
problem,
Mhm.
that's why the original Starbucks plan
Yeah.
on the other side of town on Murray Avenue, is you didn't have the queue, you had a queue for about 6 cars.
I think Starbucks has learned since then, now that they bring us on how much.
Yeah, so,
Sounds like you didn't get.
so your queue is all on your
no, didn't
property.
we, but,
It
the
sounds like-
queuing lanes are great, but didn't the police ask, they didn't know yet if they wanted to do a traffic?
No, they asked.
No, they
They said that
specifically
they
said-
wanted to do a
So-
traffic
They
study.
did.
It sounds
Yeah.
like you didn't get our notes from last meeting, because we didn't have concerns with the actual site itself, it's getting to and from it.
No, I got it, it was just brought up tonight, that's why. I said
Well, no,
something.
it was brought up a month ago, so I'm not sure where the disconnect was in you getting that information.
If I may, at the meeting before the last meeting, we left it as to try to to come up with possible solutions with the police department, and a striping plan was what was agreed upon. And then they were to come back, you yourselves would come back and present that striping plan, and if it did not meet the requirements of the board, or the board did not like it, then a traffic study could be deemed warranted by the board. And right now, the police department has not commented either way with the review of the striping plan.
Correct, that was the information we were told.
And this also was one of the department, was the police department. There are factories further up Jungle Road, along with a quarry, which causes heavy truck traffic to pass by. I'm not trying to cancel or delay the project, I just feel an independent traffic study that focuses on a parking lot intersection with Jungle Road, with the idea of crash mitigation is warranted. So that was what he was saying, the first round.
Correct. And then, yeah, we agreed to kind of take a look at a plan with them, which we did, we sat down.
Yeah, no,
with them.
that's great too, but.
And that's what we came to hear about, obviously, my first time here, so the opinion of what we're getting tonight is much different than I think where we left last meeting, which that happens, I mean, we totally.
Yeah.
It's okay, it's okay.
And
I think our goal, I mean, this is a great opportunity to get, I think, two really,
Agreed.
great tenants in this area.
We agree with you.
And this is the area you want it.
Yeah,
This is, if you want high traffic, generators, you don't want them downtown, you don't want them on an unsignalized intersection, so
you're
I
talking,
think this
yeah.
is the place
You're
to
talking
do it.
to-
We agree with you,
we agree.
absolutely.
We have no problem with Starbucks, that location, the bank, that location. No question with that. That's not an
I
issue.
just wanna make sure that.
The issue is the traffic.
Yeah.
And we've been bitten too many times over the years, okay? And when we don't take a stand up front, and because you're dealing with people who live in the area, who are there all the time, who have been here for a long time. So it makes a big difference, and it's not just hearsay.
No,
And we've seen the problems, okay? So that's what I'm saying is so we get a number of issues and I don't see it, and I don't know what we can do with Old Mill. I don't know what you can do with Old Mill,
Nothing.
okay? I don't think there's much we can do with try making that a one-way and all the neighbors have nixed that one, and the groups are further out. And that's up to the city council, and that's out of our purview, so I really don't even address that. So that's, but from this right over, you've got a crosswalk that goes nowhere. It's gotta go at least to a sidewalk, because you got traffic going in and out. I can't have people, even if it's one or two, walking in the street. It looks like that intersection is still have, with the primary delivery from the intersection is to the Walmart, and you gotta make a hard left turn, where maybe that has to be reconfigured a little bit different. Rather than just striping, and it's not that expensive to put in a raised feature in there of some kind, or even a rumble strip that doesn't make it as easy to go through rather than striping. I don't think just striping is adequate, so something else has to be done. That's where our concerns are. Concerns are not really with your site, minor thing, but, is with that traffic. And it's been you're right, that intersection was designed 20 years ago to be a high traffic intersection, and it is a high intersection, okay? That hasn't changed, the intersection will handle it, it's off the intersection where our problem is.
So I
That's
think
what we
that-
have to address.
does there need to be, I think, a vote, because I think our goal is, speaking openly, we only have so much time. And so, what we wanna do is be as effective with the board's time that we can, so what would be the most appropriate next step to help keep the application moving forward?
I think you need to talk to the police department, and they made the comment about doing a traffic study for this intersection here. They may have ideas to mitigate, or calm the area as well. So I think it has to go back to there, not just, and I agree, striping wears out. So let's go a step further here and move past that, but, so the difference here is the differences are you're gonna restripe where the intersection is with the lighting further in, right?
Correct.
It's gonna be a lot longer, right? So that's creating, now, if they're in agreement with that, John said, maybe there is a barrier there that funnels the traffic,
I
correct?
still don't see the difference. So there's two lanes coming in.
Right.
They both go into the Walmart lot.
Well, one of them goes here.
No, that's not a lane, it's not
So-
striped that way. So you
Oh,
want
well,
your customers to turn.
There's two
No,
lanes,
that's-
Right,
and
and they
there's
both
gonna
go,
be a stripe that separates them coming up, that line
Okay.
was there.
but they
It
both go into Walmart.
No, so we
This one
are
goes
painting
either
a
way.
new line across to the left down Jungle Road
But this
to
one was
help
already
guide
existing.
customers making the left.
This is
So-
straight or left?
We've also
This line,
extended the
yeah.
painted island further out
Yeah.
to kind of help facilitate that left
So when
movement,
people
but still
turn-
allow for larger tractor
So
trailers to
when
be able to
people
make
turn
that
left
turn.
there, the right lane will take them into Walmart, and the left lane you're saying now is gonna be a left turn only, or will
No,
also
No,
still go
it
into
can be a
Walmart?
straight or a left turn.
Straight or left?
Because there's- You have two receiving lanes.
But there's gonna be some type of a stripe or a left turn arrow or some indication that you can turn left there?
I think if
Cause that doesn't
two
exist.
pavement markings here, I mean, I think having those arrows there to help guide people is totally acceptable. I think that's
I mean, the arrows only point in, so I'm
This
looking
one
for
goes
where
this way.
but where's the arrow?
There was an arrow there at one point, I don't know if it wore out, but this is supposed to be a left turn as well as straight.
You just have the arrows going straight, and I don't see it on the plans.
That's what it was.
Yeah, there's no arrows currently
No
shown on the
arrows.
plan.
On
But I
either
think
side,
providing, on either side, but providing an arrow to help guide people straight, and then providing a through arrow and a left arrow.
So there will be a left arrow,
I'm
because I don't
saying,
see that.
we currently don't show it,
But you will have that.
we can do that, yeah.
Okay, that would help me a lot.
I would.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be
Yeah,
both,
and-
right?
Yeah,
I
which is
thought,
fine.
I thought they were both there,
That
yeah,
would
with the
help a lot.
extension of this, it kinda gives the
Because
curve, because the.
If you're gonna put that left arrow, you really don't want
That's
that coming out that
for a
far,
crosswalk.
because that's coming out too far now. You wanna bring that
You see
that center strip, I wanna call it, back a little bit, so it's a little easier to make that left turn.
No, I know,
Well, you-
it's great.
You do want to kind of pull that up to kind of help with people making that left, it helps
Right,
reduce the
right.
conflict, so this is a, by
See,
this is a painted area.
there's almost a point where I wouldn't want people making a left. See, anybody coming from this area is gonna make a left here.
This guy.
If you're going into Walmart, you're gonna take that entrance right there.
I mean, I was there today, and a lot of people,
Well, those are the people going over to all
you
these.
know, a lot of people went into the Walmart entrance down here too. It was-
Yeah.
I saw a mixture of both. I don't know if it's, you know,
I
I
don't know
don't
who's
know
going
the
where,
exact percentage.
yeah, but they
Because
might
I
be
think
going
what's
to.
nice about this this entrance, you know, kind of gets you right in the heart of the parking lot, where here, I mean, people don't like to drive further than they need to, you have to kind of drive in and then around and back into the
Right,
parking
the
lot.
other way, well, actually, you got Tractor Supply and the other, you got access also on the other side, so we don't wanna impact that. I think a number of issues is, there is a request from the planning board and the fire department for a traffic study, okay? And I have a real concern that the police department, maybe I talked to you yesterday, Fred, we haven't gotten a formal report
Mhm.
back from them, and I can't really do much without that formal report, from the police department. And the only little thing is an addition of a sidewalk there, but that's no big deal, that's interior to your plan, so. And that should be a
And those
minor
are
change.
things we can easily work with you on.
Yeah, that's an easy one, you know. So the rest of it, I say, so traffic really is our problem, and one of the problems we had is, you know, the information you gave to us did not make the deadline that we're notified of, and then so a lot of places, you wouldn't be even here talking tonight. But
This did make the deadline, just to clarify.
That did. The striping
Yeah.
plan didn't.
for the rest of it, then, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that did,
Yeah,
and I
this is
had
what we
that.
want to focus the conversation
Right.
on.
So, I think, how long would it take to do a traffic study?
It can take 8 to 12 weeks.
It could take less than that too, I assume.
Elizabeth,
But,
how long
do we-
to do?
But I guess my question is,
But that-
A peer
is
review,
is the
peer review
police
might take
department satisfied with these
I don't know.
modifications?
So we were hoping to come in tonight with that answer, but unfortunately they didn't get back to me on
Because
time.
They didn't come back to us
That's,
with it.
you know, because
That's where I'm
because
wondering.
I understand the whole, I don't want them to go through a traffic study and then they're gonna say, yeah, this is good. Cause I know they're not independent, but at the same time, the petitioner has hired these civil engineers who are experts and after conversations with our department heads have made revisions.
Right,
So,
and made another revision tonight as far as the arrows. So, I mean, but I don't have that from, I mean, I've gotta get the input. I'm
I know,
sorry.
so that's why I'm saying, why don't we,
You wanna leave it up to the police department?
No. All you're doing is pushing it out 2 weeks and I'm still gonna wanna have a traffic study, because that, again.
Well, Paul, if the police department says that they're happy with what they got, the results, and I have to, you know, that they are a traffic department, and within the within the police department, I have to, you know, I'd agree with them, but at this point, I don't know. I don't know which way, how, one time they ask for it, another time it's to work with it. Do they come back and say, no, we're satisfied with the traffic? Because ultimately, those are the guys that have to deal with it. Okay, and they're gonna have to send people there or have to deal with the accidents and whatever has to be done, so they know 10 times better than I do. But I have to rely on them, and I don't have the information now, so I can't make an intelligent decision because I don't have the information. So,
I think you need to work with them.
and get it to work with, yeah.
See what ideas they have, you know,
And
and
then-
then maybe, like we said, maybe that it isn't just striped, maybe there's, you know, it's raised, sort of like the front part is raised, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, and then even razors, sometimes you
Yeah.
just put the rumble strip in,
So,
and, cause that
but with
doesn't
the
go
right and
with
left, I mean, with the left and straight, that's the way I assumed it was anyway, because that's the way the traffic flows in there. But we need to make sure that that's, and I know, the other major change was you were pushing up the stop.
Yeah, I think
Stop
sight
line.
line's very important.
Yeah,
And I know there's stop, signs on the other end as well, and, you know, most of the time it's fine in there, you get a few wackos that go through, but you get that no matter where you are. And then like John said on that other thing, but I think if you work with them and we get a concise report back, then, you know, we're gonna go with,
I'm gonna go with the police department.
I think that's the key, we really, you know, we will, we'll ensure that when we come back, that we have some decision made with them.
Cause
Once again, they're great to work with, we did enjoy meeting with them,
Okay.
they were very helpful.
Yeah,
Elizabeth, can we make a request to the police department that we have a representative?
At the
meeting?
next meeting?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
As long as he agrees with what I say, I don't wanna get in trouble.
Oh, no. You know, I said I request. I request, I don't, I know better. You never know, things come up, but if they do have a traffic officer.
We'll ask them to come heavily armed.
I appreciate it, again, we'll do a little bit of our homework and get this thing in a better place for everyone.
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Shouldn't be,
Do I have anyone else who wishes to comment on this plan? Okay, a motion would be to continue it to our next meeting.
June fifth?
June 5th at 6:30?
So moved.
Right,
second.
so that's June 5th at 6:30? All
And-
set with that?
And you're not requesting a formal traffic study, you're relying on the police to
That is
work with the
correct.
Right,
applicant.
unless they say at that time, no, we still need a traffic study.
Please recommendation, yeah.
Yeah, we need a recommendation from the police department.
I don't know if we can do this procedurally. I'm just trying to expedite things. If they so Elizabeth, if you hear back from them,
No, we still have to have them come back to the meeting, 2 weeks, we'll do the 2
Okay.
weeks, I think.
all right, okay. I'm just saying, they could come back on Friday and tell Elizabeth, no, we still need a traffic study. Now, the applicant has to wait an
Then he would know,
10
then
days.
they'd have the information, we'd have the information at that point.
But you need to work with them.
And they could start.
You need you work with them directly, face to face.
I would start
and,
anyway.
Yeah.
You know, whatever your reason for not needing a traffic study. Just work together with them, work to
Okay.
a resolution.
All right, we'll
Yeah.
see you soon.
We wanna see you in town, we'll try to work it out,
We're all in
okay?
favor of the whole thing.
No, we appreciate it, we will be
Okay.
back in a couple weeks, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a motion. Motion is on the table, on the floor, to continue to June 5th at 6:30. I have a motion made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries.
Nobody's on the phone, so we don't have to.
I know.
Okay, it's been a while.
Regular meeting. On the roll call. Call to order.
Patrick Perla. Paul Weiser. Sal Chaconi.
Yeah.
Carol Vittorioso.
Yes.
Tom Kerrigan, excused. Jason Parre.
Here.
Dean Valier.
Here.
John Souza.
Yes. Right here. Minutes of previous meeting.
No, April 3rd.
April 3rd meeting, right, April 3rd meeting.
Motion to accept.
Second.
I have a motion made and seconded to accept. Do I have any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. Plan submitted, A&R for 1012 Pleasant Street, map 381, parcel 2D, 2E, and 9.
come and see what I,
Okay. First,
alright. Is this one lot into three?
Those three, just move the line forward.
We have a
Oh, okay.
representative.
Oh, I see.
Wachusett
It's
Street,
it's in
oh,
my,
Hardy.
if you read my memo.
That's pretty straightforward.
and they're all,
Oh, okay, that's on the left hand. The power lines,
Across the street.
Can you say your name?
I'm sorry, Susan Setzko Otis. KOBUS.
Thank you.
okay.
Just so, if you look at my memo, there were 3 recommendations for compliance with subdivision regulations. No, but under the subdivision regulations, it talks about A&Rs and what needs to be on the plan.
well, we need the area, they have the frontage.
Yeah, so she's saying we need to,
They need to add the names of the butters.
the butters,
Names of the butters.
and
The
the front,
front-
side, and rear yard setbacks, and, include a locus map at 1,000 feet.
Or else get a
Okay.
waiver from them. Either do it or get a waiver.
That's the utility right away here, it goes into the.
There is
I don't see anything that wants to hold this up, so.
is there a right of way through this
We do have
property?
to do these things.
Is there a right of way through this property to the back?
We do have to get
No,
the
there's
not.
butters,
Oh, no.
and they do have to,
Okay,
indicate the
I just go by there and I'm trying to picture,
setbacks.
I know where it is,
The yellow barn,
yeah,
Bond is 5 foot. This is 5 foot, so.
Okay.
Front, side, and rear yard setbacks.
yeah, I know the yellow barn. I do a lot of time at Shoals, so.
one of the last old barns on the street now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have,
So what do you need, the setback on, well, just the butters, and
just near the butters.
that's it.
The house and the barn need,
While the barn needs 5 feet, there's a 5 foot setback on the shed, it says 5 feet on it. So I'm assuming the barn is at least 5 feet, it's only 5 foot.
Now, the barn is right on the road,
Well, it's on the road, right?
but that's grandfathered.
Yep, that's right. And the other home is fine.
Yeah, you don't have the setback on the house there, right? That's the one.
There is a chart.
Okay,
Doesn't change.
do you have anything you wish to add to this?
Pardon me?
Yeah, okay,
So it requires 80 foot of frontage, 80 feet
Yeah.
of frontage?
80 foot and, it's quarter acre, a half acre rather,
Traffic, so everything
so
exceeds.
everything exceeds that.
There's nothing here, there's a barn there that already exists and the home already exists.
Yeah.
So I make a motion
All right.
to approve.
We gotta at least do the waivers.
I make a motion to waive the,
5G, the butters.
Yeah.
let's do them separately. I make a motion to waive, the names of the abutters.
Second. Can you just help me with the justification?
Can they just add it?
It's just not important.
They could just
Yeah,
add it
just
and amend the
add
plan and add the butter names.
I'd rather
Well,
have
we
them
can do
add
one
it.
way that, all right, then I make a motion to endorse the plan on the condition that they make those changes. I'm not making everybody come back here.
no,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
No, in the condition, they have to add the abutters and the,
What about the locust map, is that?
Yeah, all three that you recommend, Elizabeth.
so you understand the 3 changes that have to be made?
We're gonna endorse it anyway.
We're
We're
going
gonna
to endorse
endorse
it.
It's endorsed, but
Okay.
it has.
But if you're,
I'd
and
be
civil,
willing to waive the second two, it's just the first one.
Yes.
right?
Which one?
well, I
That would
think,
get butters.
That's it.
You don't think it's?
I think it's fine the way it is. This land and these places have been there
I don't see a
forever.
plan making a change the
Been there forever.
That's not.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, that,
So go back to your original motion.
yeah, I made a motion to endorse.
Because
So endorse
with
as
the-
is.
Yeah, with the waivers,
Just get the waiver from Elizabeth on
with
the
the waivers
conditions.
on all three.
Is that
All
what
right,
you
well,
propose to?
You have to
Elizabeth?
vote on the waivers though.
you either have to vote on waivers separately, or you include it as a condition.
Okay, you're waiting for me?
Is that true?
Well, we've always made motions to waive.
Do you wanna look at the memo?
I've never done it on a
Yeah.
PNR, but
Do you need to see the memo?
It's chaos in here tonight.
I don't know why we have to do that. You know, I'm gonna make a motion that we waive, like, who made the motion of all the requirements? All the three conditions.
Five
Well, the
G,
motion
five
is made, but it
I.
wasn't seconded, so it was still back
Alright,
and
well, I'm
forth.
making that
you guys,
motion,
you guys decide and I'll just
and
vote.
then we're just gonna make the motion to endorse.
All right, so your motion is to waive all three?
Yep.
5G, 5I,
Yep.
and K.
That's correct.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay. I have a motion made and seconded to waive the conditions, to waive the, okay? Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries
Motion to endorse the A&R
with waivers.
with waivers.
Motion made and seconded to do the A&R with waivers. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Can I just clarify what the waivers are that we need to do?
It's paperwork.
No?
It'll be right up in your decision.
Yeah.
Don't go on, cause I gotta put them together.
We'll call you when it's ready to send that out.
Okay, all right, perfect.
It's nothing, it's just the locus size is gonna be changed,
They waived
and then just
Oh,
the name of your abutters, that's
We
all.
waived it.
I was prepared with an answer for that. The locus is, what we call it a vicinity map. The
Yeah.
licensing board
Yeah.
likes that term. A long time ago, a lawyer used a scale on my
That's right.
vicinity map and
Right.
told me my survey was wrong. And it was a lot of trouble, so it is, the scale, I have a scale, I can
Yeah, no,
show you.
that's fine, see, what it
It's
is,
1,000 feet.
yeah, but in our rules and regulations, we have a specific, so there's a standard on what the vicinity map is, as you call it, we call it a locus, what that scale is, okay? So your drawing has to be changed to that scale.
Well,
Yeah.
the note that not to scale is so that people don't go crazy
It doesn't try
drawing
it.
lines on that and trying to determine that my
Right,
survey was
that's
wrong.
right, but the locus, there is a size requirement.
So, you know, the engineer that put it in there should have known. We're good.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
We'll call you when it's ready.
Oh,
Thank you, appreciate that.
I don't have, I'm short a
Bush
copy.
I don't see it too much on it.
Have a nice day.
I have a oh, you have another copy?
Okay. 3.2.
Apple Farm.
A&R 143, 150, and 179
I have.
Joslin Street, map 576, parcel 6, map 577, parcel 10-11. Good evening.
Hi, Steve Dallin from Haley Wood.
Steve?
On either side, the applicant owner owns on both sides of Johnson, between Bay Street and Pierce Street. And they're
Okay,
creating a lot around what was the restaurant,
okay,
the house across the street.
This is,
Okay. That house is outside of the APR.
All the land right now is under agriculture.
This land here is.
And the other
This
side,
is,
that lot is, yes.
these are all in agricultural protection?
Yes.
So you gotta go to the state?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I thought these had been taken out.
They had, actually, they have, the
This was
agreement
taken out to
is,
make
the
it
agreement
right.
is they have 2 1-acre plots that are taken out, that's correct, you're right. This one was created in the 70s.
Right.
And then they have, part of their agreement is 2 1-acre parcels.
Okay,
Approximately approximately 1-acre parcels. That's their agreement with the APR.
and so that should show on the APR, so you don't have to go to the state, or you do.
Well, they're gonna file this with them so that they see the meets and bounds of the
Okay.
area that. they
Okay.
designated.
That's pretty straightforward.
Just wanna make sure. And so what are you doing here?
Creating lot 1 and lot 2,
Okay, so you're just separating them out?
just separating them out from the parcels on both sides.
They got the frontage too.
Okay, and,
Because the parcels are so big, and it wouldn't be readable if I tried to put it to a scale where you could show the abutters, I requested a waiver for the abutter list.
okay.
Okay.
Well, aren't they the zone, but
Well, yeah, it's. Right.
I mean, they're all
The big
butters.
parcels are just,
That's right there.
right, in the locus, I showed in the locus what the parcels look like on
Yeah.
your side of the road.
Okay.
Just so you can
Yep.
see.
Alright, I move to waive the abutter list.
Second.
Okay. Excuse me. Motion made and second to waive the abutter list. Any further in discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no.
I move to endorse.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to endorse. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. Vote.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I'll roll it up.
Three point three, site plan application, Brooks Pond Road, map 317, parcel 8A, independent living facility. This is to be scheduled?
We have to advertise a special permit too, so it's gotta be bumped out to June 19th.
Okay, June 19th at 6:30. That's the motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to schedule for June 19th at 6:30. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no, motion carries. Special permit, use, application for Brooks Pond Road, map 317, parcel 8A, independent living facility.
June 19th, 6:31.
Um,
6:35.
You can have some time in
They
between.
do the same thing, so.
I say-
The other, right?
No, we'll take these as, you're gonna have two separate reports here, so
Yeah, so we can't do it at 6:31?
6:31.
6:31.
Because they're gonna have overlap in the conversation.
Absolutely.
Well, it's gonna overlap anyway. Okay, I have a motion for use. Application Brooks Pond Road, parcel independent living for 6:31 on June 19th. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no, motion carries. Okay, from parcel 9A, site plan application Brooks Pond, map 317, parcel 9A, independent facility.
6:32 on June.
This is gonna be separate, there is a difference
Two
in
buildings.
the plots, I do wanna separate them
Probably
out.
because of financing, but it's gonna be the same plan, is gonna be my guess. right?
No, they're two
No.
different lots.
They're different
I
lots
can
and
look, I have
different
them in my
plans.
office, I've opened them up,
Yeah.
they're two different lots.
So I give them 5 minutes.
6:35, 6:38. How's that?
Okay.
6:38?
Yeah,
That's 6 minutes. That's it.
6:30.
6:40, when did we get 6:40?
Hey, come on,
Sal.
give me a break, will you?
What?
Jesus. 6:38 is my goal.
Okay, I got a motion for 6:38.
Second.
Motion made and seconded.
I like things even out all.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no, motion carries. Special permit use application, Brooks Pond Road, map 317, parcel A, independent living, 638.3.
Right, second.
Second, we didn't
I
get
have to put this in the advertising legal ad,
30
so.
seconds, we don't.
Oh, yeah, well, let's do
6:30.
6:40.
6:40, okay.
So you're giving that one 2 minutes, but the other one
I
only
know,
1 minute?
there's no logic.
That's the way
You
it
guys
is.
are-
So, like, if we run into all together anyway.
Yeah, you'll make it.
There is no logic.
Okay, any further discussion? Here, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both say no, motion carries. Old business, site plan application, 10 Jungle Road, map 300, parcel 13A. Banquet drive-through restaurant with drive-through and retail, this has been continued. New business done, communications, appointment of chair and vice chair, planning board for appointment for 2023. Do I have any nominations?
I vote for Pat Souza and Claire Frida.
There you go. To become the newest chair. I'm gonna nominate John Souza for chair.
Second.
Okay, I have a nomination for John for chair. He accepts.
Oh, we gotta
Do we have
vote.
any other?
I didn't accept one.
No, I have to accept it in the nomination.
Do we do that?
No, are there any other nominations?
This isn't a presidential election, you know.
Here are no other nominations.
Thank God.
I know.
Here are no other, I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both say no, motion carries.
And I
Okay.
nominate Carol Vittorioso for
Oh, we
vice
gotta
chair.
vote on that one.
We just did.
We just
Yes.
Second.
Yes.
Where were you?
I don't know where it was.
Second. Carol Victorioso as vice chair.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Do we have any other nominations? Here none. I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye. Both say no.
Okay.
You had no choice,
No,
Carol.
I know.
Thank you, gentlemen, and every lady. Pier Street definitive subdivision, procedural waivers. Plan board to consider a waiver request. Let me fill you in a little bit on this. There's been some issues, and in our subdivision regulations, we have a time definite where the MyLars and certain documentation have to be completed within a 6-month period. That did not happen. We had a number of communications between us and the engineering firm, but not with the property owner. Therefore, I'm making a recommendation that we give them a special, or a deviation from the subdivision regulations to allow another, and that's where I'm stuck. I don't know whether I need another month or 2 months, and I have a representative here, then she can fill us in. So that's where we stand.
I guess my understanding is, and you have to help me out here, but I
So
think.
please identify yourself, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Gail Sable, I'm one of the applicants.
Thank you, Gail.
You're welcome. I have the Mylars here from Haley Ward, and apparently he added the signature lines. And they were submitted, I guess, back in January, but miscommunications, I think the reader required to have.
But there was some other documentation we also required, it was not only the Mylar, but there was
Open space covenant,
a covenant agreement,
the
Okay.
name has to be agreed.
a covenant agreement, a HOA agreement, plan. Now, we gave you, we have samples that you can copy and submit it at this time.
Would that be something that we would do, or would that be something that
At this
whoever
point,
is
you
the
do it.
developer would do?
No, you would do it. Well, between you and the developer, what this is what it does is, in the future, it ensures that the city is covered. Because it says that the people, say the 12 lots are there, they will develop a homeowners association. Because we've had a lot of issues with basically detention basins. Not the roads, not the sidewalks, unless you wanna make it private, but you don't have to, okay? But it's most of the people found that what was done is their property, or not a catch basin, a retention pond, or retention, was on somebody's property and wasn't taken care of. So after 4 or 5 years, you know, the weeds grow up and it's useless. So what this does, and in most cases, the DPW are reluctant to go in there because it's on people's property or adjacent to their property. So, and they don't have a budget to go into all these detention ponds around the city to repair them. So by having a homeowners association, it means that all of the people in that homeowners association, because all of their drainages go to that detention pond, are responsible for the pond. So that means that if they have to come up with a $50 fee a year or $100 fee, it's whatever, okay, so that gets cleaned out once a year and taken care of. That's the primary reason for it, okay?
For
Go ahead.
information, if I'm reading this correctly, we asked for a legal opinion and our attorney told us we don't have the power to do this. So
We know, I talked
am I
to,
reading that wrong?
We called legal counsel on a separate phone call.
I called yes, you get the letter. I talked to legal counsel, okay? And in our subdivision regulations, the planning board has the right to do this. Okay,
That's not what's in writing, so I just wanna.
yeah, well,
I was with John when we made the call, and she says we're stretching the elastic, but you can stretch it to,
we can do it.
we can do
It's
it.
either that, okay,
So
we're going to give them time definite, they've got this, they're gonna give another 2 weeks or whatever it is to get that other paperwork done.
And
and
I'm not
they'll go.
passing any judgment on the merits, I'm just asking for clarification. If we do this
Yes,
and stretch the elastic, does
Yeah.
that mean that's now the policy for everybody?
No.
So how do we differentiate where
we
the
always
elastic
differentiate,
stretched
you know, there always, one of the circumstances, part of it was our own issue, let's put it that way.
I understand.
Okay, so because of that, and because I did talk to the legal counsel, she said, if this was an ordinance issue, we couldn't do this. But because the subdivision regulations are planning board subdivision regulations, we can in fact change our own regulations or amend them, okay? It's a temporary thing and she allowed us to do it. Other than that, this whole thing has to go back to square one, and I don't see any advantage in doing that.
I'm just trying to clarify, so we can change it or amend it for one time only, and
Yes.
everybody else has to abide by them, but we don't.
That is correct. It's an individual issue. It's not, it doesn't become standard. Okay? So that's why, we have the Mylar, she gave us the Mylar tonight, and it's just this other documentation that we,
I had just a quick question. So, I'm sorry, our understanding was that once we submitted the Mylars, which I think were given in January, then we had 6 months to kind of wrap things up with a buyer or developer, because a lot of the conditions would be the builder or the developer would want to do. So that's why, that we stopped there and we thought you had these and that they were signed. And then we had a, kind of miscommunication where suddenly I got a notice that said, you're rescinded, it's all expired, you have to start over, so.
yeah, no, we really don't wanna, especially when you're local, I don't want to start over, okay?
Thank you.
And so we wanna work with you, you're giving us the Mylar, and that's great, but we still do need that other paperwork. And that was part of the letter that we had, so we get that squared away, you should be able to do that all within a week, okay? And like I said, we had a copy of the agreement that we have, the homeowners association we did for, over on Willard Street.
Okay.
You can change the names, do a wash off, and basically the same thing, and it'll work, and when you take that, you submit it to us, down the road, if you say, I really don't like how this was written, you can rewrite it and submit another
That's not that
HOA,
easy.
but that's outside of this.
And that's not as
Okay.
easy as you're making that out to be.
What's that?
That's not as easy to change homeowners association.
Oh, no, it's not, but that they have their, certain things they have to do with that
So,
agreement.
the only thing, is that the only thing missing? Cause the open space covenant, Form 8 covenant, that's completed. And the
Yeah.
deeds to lot provides, that's the only thing outstanding, Elizabeth?
It's all in that email dated January
Yeah.
26th.
No, I mean, I got
All those
that.
items need to be turned in.
Well, it says Form 8 covenant completed,
Oh, it's not completed. Needs
It
to
has
be
to be
completed.
completed.
has to be completed.
Has to be completed.
Deeds to the lots provided to us, open space covenant, and the homeowners association.
Right.
Verification on the street.
So we have to have the deeds.
But we haven't created the lots yet. So how do we do that?
That's
You
an
have
attorney will
one
do
deed
that.
for your primary lot. Okay?
Okay.
And not for the end of it. So if you have a deed for your entire property, that we use that,
Oh, okay.
okay? And then we just hold it, that's all. And then later on, you create the actual lots. When you create the actual lots, then you can amend it.
All right, so for now,
Okay.
just the deed to the
But
property.
the amendments come back through us,
Okay.
okay? And what'll happen is, and that's all part of your covenant. So like, as we do it, well, you'll say, okay, I put in my road, the basic road, the sewerage, the outline for the sidewalks, whatever we require, that's all done. Then we say, okay, we'll release the first 3 lots or the first 5 lots. You can start building. You'll get to the last 2 lots, okay, at that point, we'll need a bond to cover, not a bond, the actual dollar, we have a passbook account, okay, held by the treasurer. And then we'll hold and we'll get an engineer to determine how much money it is to cost to finish the project. And then we'll have a cash account to cover that amount, okay? And then you have time to finish that, project with that money. And if it gets done, you get your money back. If it doesn't get done, then the city uses the money to finish the road,
Okay.
do whatever that's done, okay?
So if I could get a copy of the homeowner's covenant to use as a
The one that
guideline.
Willard Street used,
Sure.
that one.
Yeah, that sounds, to me, you think that's a good
Yeah,
one?
just,
Yeah,
That'll get us started.
Yeah.
I like doing your.
It's similar, theirs was 24 and yours 12, so I mean, I
trust
can't see
you.
what that might be that much different looking at it.
Okay. All right, so a deed to the whole property, covenant, and there was something else we required?
Elizabeth can provide the list to you directly.
Elizabeth will give you the list.
We had sent it to the engineer in January, right, Elizabeth?
January 25th.
3 times to the engineer, and never heard back. So we can send you the full list to your attention tomorrow
Yeah, I
morning.
feel better.
Because I didn't get copied on any of that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wait, did we say how long?
No, that's what we've gotta determine. How much time do you think you need?
Gail, I wouldn't,
A month?
can we have it all in one package?
With the Mylars.
We don't wanna
Oh, you
hold on
don't-
to
you don't want
one
this
thing,
now?
no.
Okay. All
We'll
right.
have the whole complete
Cause
set of everything
we'll
on the
let you
list.
submit those without it.
Gail, what do you think it'll take you to get this done?
If it sounds simpler than I thought it was, so 2 weeks, we can do that.
Okay,
Let's give her.
we give her a month.
Yeah, well,
If you come in 2 weeks,
For
that's
the
fine.
next meeting,
Yeah,
That, okay, that's the next.
if, try to get it for next meeting and then, you know, but
The
you get a
deadline
month
for June
extension.
15th is the week before, so that's,
That's not enough.
June
time.
19th would be, June 11th would, I think.
No, then how about whatever meeting we have in July?
And you can turn it in sooner, but this gives you time, so you don't expire again.
So you want it by the July meeting, and we need to determine when that is, that's another.
And just a piece of advice, but I'd be
I
very
would just say
careful
by the end
copying
of
those
June.
homeowner regulations. Because they're really hard to change, they're simple.
Yeah, I know,
okay.
for
You
tonight.
have to get first word.
Okay, I'm looking for a time,
Not the first, not to
Yeah,
exceed
the
June
July
30th.
meeting.
not to exceed June 30th,
Okay,
okay?
How's that?
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Motion made and seconded to,
Did you wanna vote on the waivers first? You have to vote for the procedural
Yeah,
waivers. Before you
What
vote
do
on
we-
the motion to extend.
What are the waivers?
Section 2.5, section 3.7, and section 13P. It's in the letter, she sent a waiver request in,
Oh, I just read that.
dated May 10th.
I'm looking for,
That they failed to record it in time and endorse it.
Well, they don't wanna waive,
You have to waive those procedures. If you don't waive those procedures, you can't vote to extend.
but I don't but don't at some point, don't they have to record? And don't we
Yes.
have to endorse it, and I don't know what the
Yeah.
decision is.
You're waiving, I took these all from,
we don't have to wait for this at this time.
But aren't we just extending time so
We're
that
just
they can
extending
comply
time.
with these?
Without prejudice, we extended the timeline to June 30th.
So that they can record and so
Yeah.
that they
I
can
think-
record and we can endorse?
I think you need a procedural waiver from those, because these are procedures if,
The deadline already passed, so I think when she talked to the attorney, it had already passed, so that's why didn't she
So do a
recommend you to-
procedural waiver
yeah.
on the time
Session before
and the
it expired.
conditions as shown.
I could be wrong, but that's just the way we took it.
Oh, so I understand, so the 6 months has already lapsed.
Yes,
You need a waiver from that.
Alright, wait, so
You're aware
Amy's
from all
right,
three of
okay,
those.
I understood
We need a
differently, because
waiver from the
we've
original
received
extent.
requests to
Correct.
extend within
Yes,
Right.
we've
the
done,
time frame.
That's right.
so we've never done one of these.
You're right,
So-
Elizabeth, you're right.
They've always
Now
come
what?
So are you saying
So now we just, approve the waivers.
but then how do we get the waiver, how do we get, she's requesting waivers on these four,
yeah, section 2.
on these three sections.
Right.
But the problem is, at some point, she has to record
Correct.
she has to
That's right.
record the plan.
But
We
again,
have that for June 30th,
that's for June 30th.
that's
So
another.
it's the
deadline.
It's only a
We
waiver-
Extended the time
A waiver to a time definite.
from now to June 30th, after the fact.
It's similar, we,
We're
but
just not,
we get a waiver, we can
extending it
table.
without prejudice is all we're
We
doing,
can do either one. We
right?
can waiver or we can no, we can't. We have to waive.
I understand what Carol's saying, because she's saying if we waive the item,
You can't-
then it's no longer required.
Right.
But if we can just waive the time frame,
Why
That's
can't
right.
we just say, we're
then
going to extend the plan, and I'm gonna use that obnoxious term, but no pro tunc to the day before the 6-month deadline?
And that will
Why
work
can't we just date it,
from the day before it expired. To do that, and then you don't need to vote on the waivers and you can
Oh,
extend the
okay.
time to June 30th.
I don't know, can we do that?
I don't know, I mean, was this recommended by Amy that we waive these? Did Amy
or she just pointed out that
Well,
those are the
you
things
can read
that
her
are in
letter.
conflict.
Paul has it.
I did, she's
She's saying we can't do this.
Yeah.
saying
Well,
we can't do it at all.
Yeah,
But
and-
you guys had a different conversation.
Which is
Yes.
not what we have.
An
before
approved
us.
subdivision plan whereby a Mylar has not been submitted to the planning board for endorsement within 6 months has automatically lapsed and would need to refile. I mean, so it's already lapsed.
Right.
I don't know how you bring it back.
Refile.
And I don't wanna make anything complicated.
I don't either, but Amy told you on the phone, like,
She
Yeah.
said on the phone that we could waiver it.
We can waive it.
So,
But for a time definite and for only short,
can I
and
suggest this, can we get further clarification or and then vote on whatever the waivers will be at our next meeting? It's already expired, it's not gonna be more expired in 2 weeks.
well, I wonder,
And we can get some
We already
clarification on what the
told you
rules are.
it's June 30th.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, I'm just talking process, you know, we get. I don't wanna make another mistake today and then have to clean it up.
When was the
because
6-month date?
We're just not clear.
6-month date was March 22nd.
yeah,
So why can't we just change 6 months to 9 months in these particular items? Or whatever.
Because they've already expired.
No, that's
I
all right.
understand, but then it's not taking the need to have these plans endorsed out, it's just changing 6 months to a different time frame. So you're changing or amending the item to a different time
so,
versus
I know.
constraint.
We've been saying that. That's
but I'm
exactly what
saying, yeah,
saying.
I think you and I are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Why can't we just
Extend the time,
Date
it
it.
doesn't affect the rest.
I hear what you're saying too, but I don't think that's a bad idea.
April, May, and we just extend it now for 90 days instead of just 30 days, because
Right.
90 days from March 22nd
It's June
Right.
30th.
would almost, we'll just say, well, whatever the time frame is, if it's 95 days.
90 days, yeah.
100 days.
100 days.
So we extend it from that.
I'm just thinking off the top of my head, now that I understand, this is like, I thought they were asking for it within the 6 months.
No, the 6 months is left.
Well, that means it's expired.
That's right. But, there were some things that happened and
I'm not saying it's their fault.
Well, I'm not saying, I wanna do this, I just wanna make sure it's done the
Yeah.
proper way.
I don't wanna,
And like I
Should we
said, I
call
talked to
Amy?
Amy. Huh?
I would like to get more clarification.
I think if we vote on it, then I think we'll be, do we extend it the 90 days, or what do you say? From
100.
the 100, whatever. it's
Just make it 100 days, that
Yeah,
covers.
make it 100 days, extended from,
July 2nd.
from,
July 8th.
to extend it 100 days from the
I-
expiration date, which was the 29th.
22nd of March.
Cause I also don't know how we
22nd.
wait for something that's been that's lapsed.
Yeah.
That's why I think we need to get more clarification, because I don't know, if she's saying this is okay, let her tell us how it's okay, and then we'll vote that way.
Mm.
But
Like
I don't
something
think we
in
should just
writing.
make it up. Yeah, and something in writing would be helpful. So I'd like to get
I agree with-
clarification and vote.
I
on
think
this.
the cleanest way is what I said, but I'm not the city solicitor.
And I'll vote for what you say if you think that's the way to go. But I think our safest.
I think we
way
should
to
vote something tonight.
How I read section 2, number 5, failure to record and endorse plan within 6 months of endorsement shall render any approval null and void without further action by the planning board. Our further action is to extend.
Yeah, but that's not what that means, but
That's what I take.
So,
And that's what I read to her, and she agreed, without further action by the planning board.
And we're taking a further action.
That's the way I read it.
that just basically means,
Then there are no deadlines, because we can just change them anytime we want. That's not what it is. And that's
that just means that we don't have to declare it's null and void.
Right.
That's what that means.
That's right. So it's not null and void, because we're gonna give a 100-day extension from the date of the.
So that's gonna be my this is what I'll do. I'm gonna make a motion to extend the subdivision plan
The rescission date,
from March, what's the,
22nd.
March 22nd.
so from March 22nd to June 30th,
2023.
That's what you-
but I'm saying but it's no pro tunc to March 21st.
Right.
But it's what? You have to
We're
spell it out.
Dating back to March.
We're back
21st. Just put.
Backdating it to March
It's not-
21st.
No, don't backdate, going back to March.
Yes, going back to March
I don't
21st.
wanna say backdating, that's.
Then that's my motion, but then the second thing is, then I'm suggesting we go back to KP Law and determine whether procedurally that was,
Valid.
Correct.
Valid.
And please
Okay.
get any opinions in writing, so we all have the same thing that we're working from.
Okay. I have a motion from Carol. Do I have a second?
Item, second.
Sal?
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion?
I'm gonna have to repeat that back to you because I'm not sure I got it the way you.
Sure.
Okay.
Motion to extend rescission date from March 22nd, 2023 to June 30th, 2023, but it's in use some terminology that I didn't.
it's
Oh, yeah.
NUNC,
I thought we
second
were
word
gonna put in
PRO,
Mhm.
TUNC. Then in parentheses, just say, as of March 21st,
March
2023.
23rd. Couldn't have no lawyer here.
Well, we said it in simple English. Let's keep.
So they have till June 30th
Should clerk back.
to
Yeah,
get
June
us
30th.
all these documents.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I also wanna know what we did was proper.
you're right.
Otherwise, let's put it on the next meeting and,
We don't have to vote tonight on that.
Well, we should. We'll vote on that tonight and then,
well, the other
I
motion
have
I
to put it,
can,
I'm gonna have to put it into writing tomorrow, whatever you vote on, so it might be good to have it the way we should.
the other motion we can make is, we want the applicant to have more time, even though the plan is lapsed. That could be the simple motion that we have.
It's already lapsed.
yeah, so I think what you got is correct. And I agree with that. So I think, I have a motion, I have made it second. So I'm gonna take and, I'm gonna call for the vote on that. And then we'll additionally, we ask a letter be sent to, KP Law to clarify that the motion is in order.
Because, the issues that I'm thinking of are, you don't wanna compromise the current applicant's marketability and And if they have to get this property financed, this is because this could be an issue.
Yeah.
This is that's the reason.
All in favor, say aye.
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 So we're doing that motion?
Then, do I have anyone
Are we doing,
opposed?
I'm sorry,
Oh, we're doing
sorry,
this
are we
before.
doing that motion
Carol's
without
motion.
confirming first, or are we gonna confirm first?
No,
Better confirm after.
I would confirm
Because isn't it
first.
locked after you make the motion?
well, what do we get, do you wanna just
We're in a
table it
different
then
spot.
and ask that question?
That was my suggestion.
Yeah, I
And
think
then let's
so.
vote on it.
We can table it, I mean, she's gonna go forward anyway.
And that's fine.
That's
We're gonna
fine, she
find
can
a way
continue
to
the steps,
make it
I mean,
work.
we have the intent here, but Steph actually brings up a good point.
But we don't, it won't be any less expired in 2 weeks. Let's
She
get the time
knows
to
she's
get
gonna
it
get the
right.
paperwork in by June 30th, because that's what we
Yeah.
told her, so it doesn't hurt with the 2 week delay.
Our paperwork doesn't bother her at all now.
She just needs a notice from me directing her what to do.
Alright. Yeah,
But so my motion is to ask KP Law if what I'm
You already
suggesting
voted
can
on
be
the other
done.
motion, so
No,
do you need
I
to
didn't
say?
vote.
No, we didn't vote on anything.
Didn't vote on it.
Steph stopped us.
No. So we rescinded that motion, yeah.
Mid-motion.
what we'll
So
do
I
is we'll
rescind the motion and I'm
Rescind the
asking that my motion
to
now
table
is
it,
to
to
table it.
table the decision to further, to the next meeting.
Keith said,
And to ask if the motion you made would be the correct motion?
Yes.
Okay.
There you go, that's good.
and if not, to
Thank you.
provide us with language that is the
In-
appropriate
Right.
language for
In writing.
extension to June 30th.
I
Everyone
second
can do
that
that
motion.
again anyway.
In writing.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
You got it.
Well, the
Sorry,
motion,
I'm sorry.
No, you did the right thing, Steph.
you have to have a
That's right.
motion, you have to have two tables. A motion to table cannot have additional discussion. So you first have a motion to table. So I have a motion to table this until the next meeting.
Motion to table.
Motion to table, yeah. So I have a motion made and seconded to table, okay, until our next meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, last time we said the other one.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Yep.
Now, a motion
What I
to,
said.
the motion that Carol proposed be sent to KP Law for, clarification or revision.
And that we have
Okay.
for a written opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the second motion.
And Carol made,
Carol made by,
I
Carol, second by Sal.
Yep.
Any discussion on that? Here none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no, motion carries. Okay, where am I?
Tansy Road.
Tansy Road, site plan. Decision to provide update and planning board to consider request for a 60-day extension.
It
Well,
hasn't
this
expired,
hasn't
right?
lapsed.
It hasn't expired.
Yeah,
That's easy.
This is just code enforcement.
Is it,
this is code enforcement. This
He
is the
needs to
guy,
come forward with a site plan and a special permit for what he's proposing. And he needs to go to an engineering firm and have them work on that for him,
we've already extended this once, haven't we?
yes. 30 days, you give him 30 days extra, or 60 days.
60 days.
We have 60
It was
days.
gonna expire on 5/10, and then he went to the engineer, Hannigan Engineering, and then Hannigan, is very busy and wrote a letter. I think it's in the packets, just
Dated May
requesting an extension to that for 60 days, I think they said, or I don't know if he put a time
60
frame on it.
days.
Did he put a time frame on it?
Yeah, okay, 60 days, yeah.
So they're just requesting that they will come back to us with the modified site plan and the special permit before July 10th.
Okay, I move to grant that request.
Okay. I have a motion made and seconded to continue this to July 10th. Oh, an
Second.
extension to July 10th.
Did somebody second it? I'll
Yeah.
second it.
Jason
So,
seconded.
Okay, right.
Motion made and
Oh,
seconded
Jesus.
to continue to the extension to July 10th. Any further discussion?
Seriously?
Here none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no, motion carries. Director's report, planning director report, May 15th.
I have two quick things here. One is, there's another webinar opportunity coming up from the Citizens Planning Training Collaborative, Introduction to the Zoning Act. It's a good refresher for anybody, even if you've been on the board for a long time. It's an evening one, it's at 5:30 on May 23rd. We have it in our budget, I can send anybody to it, I can send you all, if you'd like. So there's that.
Virtual, right?
And then there's another one that, I just got an email today with another one, so I can forward that one out to you.
These are Zooms, right?
These are Zooms.
Okay.
They're $35 and we'll pay for it. And then, our subdivision books haven't been redone since 2012. I'm working with MRPC to get all the 5 amendments that you guys did in the last 5 years, put into the books, and then we're gonna reprint them. So you'll have that, but I did put 2 of the most recent memos, of the amendments into your packets, so you have them. And that's all I have.
Okay,
Okay.
is there anything else?
Second.
Have a motion made to adjourn. Do I have a second? I have a second. Have any discussion? Not discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Done though.